Hello, it's me. This is the first of my videos to go up on the group. Um, just sharing thoughts around life in general and what I've experienced. First of all, I'm doing this because I've always felt a need to do something like this, but I've had some very close friends very recently make it clear that I should be doing this, sharing my thoughts, sharing my experiences, so I am. I'm doing it in a closed group because some of the stuff that I say may be a bit controversial, and I don't really want to deal with the controversy at this point in time. I just want to deal with the honest intent of sharing what I've experienced and what I've learnt. So the biggest thing I've learnt is love. Love heals all. I've done a lot of research around people who have had radical remissions and people who have spontaneously healed from a number of different things. And one of the key things they do is love. They learn to love the world around them. I had lived a life of suppression of myself. Never felt like I was quite good enough. Even in my career, I was... even though I was getting promoted, I always felt like I wasn't quite good enough, and they were going to find out fairly soon that I didn't know what I was doing. Looking back, I did know what I was doing. I was actually quite good at my job, but that was my internal workings. And so I didn't actually think that I was worth very much. And that surprises a few people because people think that I'm confident, a go-getter and out there. And I was, and I am. It's my nature. The difference between me now and back then was that I didn't have any confidence inside of me. This journey that I've been on of self-discovery over the last 18 months has required me to look inside of me and see what's there. And the good news is I'm pretty pleased with what is there. I'm learning more every day and embracing what is there, and I quite enjoy it. The ability for me to stand in front of a mirror and say I love you to myself is a big achievement for me. Before that I couldn't. I always found a flaw in me. I always found something that I needed to work on, but now I just look in the mirror and just go I love you, and I'm so pleased with my body. I'm happy with my body and how it's taking me through life. It's a new perspective. I'm also able to express more fully my desires. I never really put my desires out there for people to hear because I was scared of getting scared, I guess is a strong word, but I was worried about the people challenging my views and me not being able to justify my views and being thought of as a quack or weird. So often I would hold back and refrain from sharing my thoughts. And I'd say I've got some very close friends who've been very honest with me, and that's what they've expressed to me, was that I couldn't always be counted on to be honest and fully there with them because I'd always holding something back. And so I appreciate those comments. The landmark people that I've met over the last year, 2018, it's a wonderful family. I've met some amazing people and been able to share my own journey and not be ridiculed for it and not be challenged on it, and just people sitting in amazement of what I've done that I always thought was nothing. And that's not to boast, it's just to say that I didn't realise how much I've actually accomplished. And part of this situation when you get into this health situation is you actually have to look back at your life and see what have you done, and I'm actually really proud of what I've done. I've lived a life of exploration. I've travelled around the world. I've lived in multiple countries. I've worked in some pretty big corporates, and I've worked without working, unemployed and struggling for funds. I've had funds in my life, so I've had a very contrasting life of a lot of abundance and then times with no abundance, so very balanced in that way. And travelling around the world, I've seen things that a lot of people only see on TV, so that sense of lack that I always had inside of me is no longer there. That sense of, I'm missing out and everybody's got more than me is no longer there. And that all comes from insecurity. The biggest thing I notice now is that my self-worth has been the challenge. As I build that up, I start to see how beautiful other people are. I start to have more open conversations. I start to allow people into my world, and then I start to receive information from them that can help me on my own journey. So my holding back was detrimental to my own life. It was also detrimental to the people's lives around me because It means I wasn't able to influence them. I wasn't there for them when they needed me. I was probably a bit more self-centered and self-focused. And I'm not judging myself on this. It's just a revelation. And what I do see is I see it so far around now. There's so many people lacking self-worth, and you see it every day in our career choice. You see it in the clothes we wear. You see it in the image we're trying to present to the world. You see it in how we act and speak. We're trying to be something that we're not, and there's been a huge realization for me that I need to be me. I can't be something else I'm not and be false, because it's not going to make me healthy. Being healthy is not judging myself and being me in all my authenticity, my flaws, my strengths, my weaknesses, all those things, and not judging them. They just are who I am. We're all human beings and we experience different life in different ways. We have different views and experiences, and that's what makes life beautiful. And that's the other thing. Another thing I've learned is just how beautiful life is, and just how amazing it is when you sit there in awe of how wonderful things are and how much the universe, the earth, the planet, people actually give to make it a great experience. But with my old mindset, I was never going to see that, because I was always coming through the perspective or the occurrence of negativity or lack of self-worth, lack of abundance, lack of everything. But now, some would say I'm in a more detrimental state or more state of lack. I'm not. I'm actually in more of a state of abundance, state of positivity. I've got people around me that I can reach out to and talk to, and you're probably watching this video now, so I thank you greatly for that assistance. I've let go of the rigidity in my viewpoints. I was very much a person that there was only one way of doing something, and that was mine. I had a good education in economics and finance, and there's structure to things, but what I've learned is when I relax that, there's actually more opportunity and possibilities in my life now. Even to the point I don't do my buttons all the way up, because it's just not who I am. It's never been who I am. I wear bare feet every day because that's who I am. I've always grown up with bare feet, and I only started wearing shoes when I started working in the corporate world, and realised that I wasn't going to fit in and walk around the corporate world in a suit with bare feet. It's not expected and not allowed, really. I would have been talked to pretty straight up. That's fair enough. You're trying to present an image and you're trying to relay confidence to people. But it's a recognition, probably more so, that I'd chosen a lifestyle that wasn't actually reflecting who I was or who I am. I was trying to be something I wasn't, so I thought that to be successful I had to have lots of money, a big house, and wear a suit and rise up the ranks of the corporate world. But in reality, I've met people that are so successful and they've got none of that. Often they've got nothing. They may live in a very small house that's rented. They may live on a boat. They may live on a house with their family because they have to financially, but the gift that is inside of those people is what we don't see often. We look at the material world and judge that as their contribution, and it's not. The heart that resides in a lot of these people is beautiful. I've learnt so much from people who haven't studied a lot, they haven't researched anything, they haven't gone through university. They're just genuine people that have had experiences and share authentically, and that's what I aspire to be, is to be more authentic and genuine in my communications and loving of life. So anyway, that's 8.5 minutes of talk. I'll do more of these posts and put them up on the webpage and the Facebook group, and I look forward to hearing from you and from anybody who listens to this. And it's just going to be my musings, I guess, for a while on my journey overseas and my recovery. So love to you all, and ka kite, be well. Thank you.